Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well now, here's something completely different, as Monty Python used to say. HMS Victory, and I was looking at it and I was going to sing the theme from the Oneidian line, you know, Cacciaturian da da dee, da da dee, da da dee, dee 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 dee. But I think more appropriate would be perhaps Boccherini or something from Master and Commander. What am I talking about? This is not a peaceful ship. This is a warship, and perhaps the most important in British history. When Britain had a navy, and one that she could be very proud of. Lord Admiral Nelson's very own flagship, of course, HMS Victory. So, from a manufacturer I've never heard of before, Neverland Hobby in China. Now, you're going to have to bear with me today because I'm not the greatest expert on ships. 700 scale. It's a swig of tea. It's going to be very interesting. It's at Gibraltar. I think it's sailing across Gibraltar there. On the way to Trafalgar, of course. And it says, includes all the decks, keel, ribs. So I don't know what any of those are. Internal structures. The gun ports are open, showcasing the battleship's demeanour during combat. Wow, okay. Battle of Trafalgar. It includes 3D printed ship's bell, steering wheel and mortars to further enhance the level of detail. Precisely designed for easy assembly. Includes all the sail components. It includes the winch, boiler and all the cannon components. Wow, that's quite impressive. Right, let's have a look then. It's not very big, is it? What's this retailing for? About 25-30 quid, I think? Something like that. Bit of a guess. I know that it's made in Guangdong, in Shenzhen, Guangdong. So, HMS Victory, here we go. Now, I'll give them some marks here because they've got some history. One of the most famous warships in the history of the Royal Navy. Never its pivotal role at several battles. The Battle of Trafalgar being the main one. Battle of the Nile was it as well? What's the other one? Was it Cape Verde? I can't remember. There's 3 battles, isn't there? 1805. HMS Victory is not just a ship, it represents the golden era of British naval power in the late 18th and early 19th century. Well, good for you for putting that little bit of detail on there. At least we've got some history. Now we know why it's important and why we need to have a look at it. So, without further ado, it's got an end opening box, which I can't say I'm very keen on. A bit sort of Matchbox stroke Revell like. That was one thing about Matchbox kits. Wasn't their finest hour, was it? They started off with those top opening, lid opening ones. Went to those end opening ones. Anyway. My God, no, I'm not going to know what any of the components are, so you'll have to forgive my ignorance and just go with it today. When I call things the wrong names, you just have to let me off. Oh, what's this? Is that the sails? I don't know what that is. Is that the sail material? Yes, it's the sail material. Gosh. Oh yes, sorry. It's got like a template on the other side. Right, let's have a look at that then. So this is the sail materials. It's tiny, isn't it, at this scale? My God, it's not a big ship, is it? Gosh. Now, I'm right in saying HMS Victory can be seen at Portsmouth. I was getting mixed up with the Cutty Sark, which of course is the one in London. But Victory was the more important ship, and that's why it's at Portsmouth, home of the Royal Navy. And yes, you've got all your templates there for cutting out your sails, and you've also got some decals. It says here. Well, look at them first. Just a minute. Let me just get my old trusty knife out. I'll tell you something. This looks really nice. The moulding looks fantastic. Could be quite a winner. This. Got no expectations of it in the first place, but it might be something I quite like. Right. PE. Oh, look at that. PE for the rigging. That's quite a good idea, actually. Now, that's quite a good use of PE. Wait till you see this. Now, that, for me, is clever because that kind of suits it as well. This, for me, kind of works, doesn't it? Look at that. Rigging. Using your PE for your rigging. Now that seems more logical than just splurging it on things that you don't need it for. Because it's got the fineness. Look at how fine it is. Oh, so well done. Look at that. That's clever. I like it. Suddenly that makes perfect sense to me. So that I'm impressed by. And then we've got the name. Oh, this is for the stand actually. This is a little bit more PE. And this is for your stand to put the ship on. HMS Victory. Look at that. Build your own stand. That's very clever. You bend it all together. Well, it actually intersects, doesn't it? It slots in basically in those little cutouts, those slots. Yeah, I like that. That's very cool. I am liking this kit actually. This was the one that I sort of turned my nose up at when I opened the box. I thought, oh, I've got my thing really. But it looks really cool. We've all got fancy instructions. Let's have a look at those then. I'll just put these away for 1 second. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you the flags. Remember, England expects every man to do his duty. Look at that. There's the flags they ran up. Yeah, top of the mast. Big one. This big one here is the one that's at the back of the ship, of course, telling you that it is the Admiral's flagship of the Royal Navy. Most powerful force on the sea, and it was for centuries. Right up until about 1943. The American Navy took over 42, 43, didn't they? And then since then, well, better not to speak about it because what's happened subsequently is just quite ridiculous. Silly politicians in the UK have never learned the lessons of history, probably don't know any history in truth. I often joke and say, this is not really about me, but I often say if you put me in a pub quiz about history with a politician, an MP, there are, with one or two exceptions like Jacob Rees-Mogg, but with most, well, he's not an MP anymore actually, but with most of the current MPs, I would absolutely wipe the floor with them, and I think most of you would as well, because I don't think they just have any knowledge. They're just terrible. We're not going to get to politics. Let's have a look at this. So, okay, it hasn't got any history because it's already sort of given you the very short version, hasn't it? Ooh, whoa, it's a bit like the old Matchbox. Let's have a look at this. So, kit number 77001, and you start with building up your basic hull, and then you have like a lower deck assembly that goes in. Then the mid deck, which has got all the cannons on it. Look at that. Hey, that's cool. That's cool. Cannons, cannons, cannons. Lots and lots of cannons. The lower gun deck composition. And then you got, so that's the lower gun deck. And then the middle gun deck gets its cannons as well. The galley and officers' quarters is shown at the back of the ship, of course. Captain would be at the very back. You remember in Master and Commander, they used to sit there playing their instruments and annoying the rest of the crew with their crappy music. Boccherini and that sort of stuff. What was the other one? Was it Brahms, Boccherini, Bach, that kind of stuff, you know, that sort of era. And Commander's Quarters Assembly. Oh yeah, okay, so you've got the Commander's Quarters to build up there separately with a table in it where they had dinner for the senior officers, just like in Master and Commander. Then you've got more guns going in here. Look at the guns, how many are there? 16 guns per side. Wow. Times 2. Oh, 64 guns, is that right? Have I counted that correctly? No, there's 3 levels. It's more. So it's 32, 48, 96 guns. No wonder it's so powerful. It's just a gunship, isn't it? There's nothing but guns on it, really. It's just a gun carrying platform. That's all it is, really. And then over the page, whoops, flip over, and we get to. So you do that side, then you do the other side. And then you're basically going to build up the quarter deck and the main deck rail assembly. Finish off your hull. You've got all your deck like winching equipment and forward cannons at the forward deck. I'm sure there are other terms that I'm not using correctly, but don't worry. Forgive my ignorance. Like foxhole, the foxhole. Where's the foxhole? That's the foxhole, isn't it? The bowsprit. The bowsprit. Spirit. We often say bowsprit though, don't we? The mast assemblies. Oh, getting a bit over my head with this now. Anti-fall net assembly, so people don't fall off the ship in heavy seas. Sail rigging assembly. This is where you get your PE going in. Look at that. That's pretty impressive. And is that it? That's kind of it then. Okay. Doesn't really show the sails though, does it? That's a little bit confusing to me. As a non-ship person, it doesn't seem to go quite all the way. So you've got sail rigging. I think you just have to glue it on with super glue, I presume. It doesn't really show you assembling the sails. I find that rather strange. It's almost like there's a bit missing from the instructions. I suppose it's this, isn't it? This is like a separate instruction. But could have been a little bit clearer, I think. Anyway, let's see the plastic now, because this looks really rather special, if I'm being fair. It does look rather good. Right, here we go. This won't take long, I don't think. I think there's going to be quite a lot of repetition. So here we have the actual hull of the ship, and I've got to say it looks beautiful. Check this out. Just look at this. You got, what is it? I said 96 guns. It's actually more than 96, isn't it? I like that though. It's got the flaps. The gun port flaps are open. Like, see all the flaps open. You've got to have your flaps open to get into action, obviously, if you know what I mean. Oh, stop! Sound like I'm working for Airfix with comments like that. Sorry, I said that. My apologies. My apologies. I did say though when I uploaded the video, it wasn't for kids though. Might want to escape, yeah. But there you see all the hull. You got the rudder here at the back. See the rudder? Big rudder, isn't it? It's really cool, that is. Then you've got the various decks, the three main decks, where you're going to insert all of these guns and cannons. I said there's 96. There's more. There's over 100, isn't there? Because there's at least 4 on the deck cannons. Then we have got some PE, which I'll come to in a minute. The ribs on the side, which helps you to form. You sort of form one side, so it's almost. I think you can have it so it's actually only got one side. You can see the interior. That's the idea, isn't it? Really. So you have the ribs, the ship's ribs, and then if you want to, you can leave the side off, I guess. It's cool, isn't it? It's nicely moulded. And you've got the main deck. Yeah. Is that the main deck and the deck below it? I'm not quite sure how that works. And then we've got all the parts I don't know. Well, we know this is the back of the ship, don't we? This is the rear with all the windows, viewing windows. And then here we've got... Oh, these are lifeboats. Sorry, just realised. I thought they were bullets then. Look like bullets. Turn it that way up and they are clearly lifeboats. And then you've got your main... Let's come back for this. You've got your main mast here. Look at that main mast. Yeah. Nicely moulded. Beautiful. Very, very good actually. Yes, I'm liking the plastic. You've got your anchors here. Big old anchors. And then we have got this little tiny bit of 3D printing, which is part X and part Y. I am not absolutely certain. I think, yes, they are in fact, my goodness, sorry about that. They are in fact, it may be hard to get this on, but this is the table in the captain's quarters. Can you see this? See the table legs at either end? This is the furniture and the chairs in the captain's chair in the captain's quarters. So they've done it in 3D printing. Part X, part Y. Makes it a little bit hard to tell what it is. Gosh, it's this fiddle, isn't it? Tiny! It's tiny. But my goodness. Whew. It's never easy to photograph either, is this 3D printed resin. It's always very hard to get focus on it. It's always a very sort of blandy sort of colour. And then last but not least, we have the remaining bits, which are the many cannons. The cannons, just look at the cannons. They're tiny. I don't think even my zoom's going to be enough for this, but they are absolutely tiny, these cannons. Every individual cannon is shown at 700 scale. Look at that. Let's try and get this in focus as best I can. Can you see that? All the little guns. Wow. And then you've got the other masts. Come back for this. Got all the other masts then on the sprue. But it's beautiful moulding, there's no flash. It's very, very accurately done. It's super sharp, and it's difficult to mould things like that. Always difficult. On this one, we've got more of the same. More guns is when they're in groups of, like, what are they? Groups of 6? Groups of 5, I beg your pardon. They've got them in groups of 5 here. Yes. A Laura cannons, that is. Look at that. And then you got the other, I think it's the mid-mast, I think it is. Or is it the mizzen? Mizzen? Oh, I don't know these terms. I'm not a sailor. So everybody loves a sailor, well I don't. Well, isn't that fantastic? That's really nice, isn't it? So I'm very impressed actually overall. I think that that's a really nice little kit of the Victory. I think you need to take your time over it because it's going to be fiddly with those cannons, oh my god. And repetitive, my god, 96 of them you've got to glue in. Oh lord. This is the trouble why I don't do things like ships, because there's too much repetition, I think, for me personally. And I just don't think I've got enough patience. But it's good, isn't it? I like it. It's a really nice little kit, that is. A real treasure. Definitely worth your consideration. So I'm going to put all that, it needs resealing, so I'll put all that back later for Colin. And I will give you my verdict. Well, I think that it does say here for Zoom Unico. It does say I was right. These are the little bits of furniture in the captain's cabin. These that are the 3D printed. There they are. It's the dining table, isn't it, and the map reading table, basically. I think a little bit more clarity around the sails and things and how it should look at the end would not have gone amiss. But other than that, I'm very impressed with it actually. I think it's a remarkable little kit. I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10. That's really rather good. I'd like to see more of that sort of style. But they thought of everything. They gave you not much history, granted, but they've told you the significance of it, which is what's most important. Not like we had with the 4-art HIMARS system, which is a great kit, but just nothing. Absolutely ridiculous, to be honest. Not a word about it. Nothing. What's HIMARS? If you don't follow the Ukraine war, you won't know. But anyway, here they've told you what the significance and what the history is. Not a lot of detail, but enough for you to know that it was a very important ship. Did it mention Lord Nelson? Didn't actually mention Lord Nelson. That's a bit of an omission. But I think 9.5 out of 10 is fair. What do you think? Hope you enjoyed that. I thought it was interesting. Something very different from me. Not my normal fare. I might start getting into ships now. No, probably won't. I found the repetition just too much for me. Thank you very much to Colin Boothroyd for sharing that with us. It's something very, very unusual and very worthy indeed of a really good close look. Hope you enjoyed it too. Don't forget to give us a like. So it's 10 out of 10 for Colin, 9.5 for the kit. Don't forget to give me a 10 out of 10. Give us a thumbs up. Make a comment. Drives the algorithm. Helps the popularity of the channel. The more comments we get, the better. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Ding the notification bell. Or become a member. If you're feeling flush. It doesn't cost much at all. That's the beauty of it. And you get lots of benefits. You know, some of the higher ranking members get actual rewards and kits and things. And of course you also get to come into our private chats, private videos that do not then get later aired. You know, because I could do that and I could get a lot more views, because people would love to have seen the one on ethics. But I just don't think it's fair that people pay extra and don't get something that's just for them, and that's what I'm doing. Just for you, those are made, just for you. And it's basically like a private officer's mess, where, you know, what's said in the officer's mess stays in the officer's mess. Shh. You can say what you like, speak freely in there, as long as you're not insubordinate to the group captain. Wrong way. Anyway, consider that being a member, and you can get all those benefits too. Thanks for now. I hope to see you again in the not too distant future. Till we meet again, stay well, stay safe. Thanks for all your time. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.